Hello everybody, David Shuster here. The MAGA-loving Turning Point USA organization has been sending videographers to Minnesota to cover those protests against federal ICE agents, and the young reporters are discovering that the conservative storyline and assumptions they have are wrong. The latest example came with this Amazon delivery driver. He was stuck eating a sandwich while anti-ICE protesters blocked his way, but instead of condemning the stop, as the TPUSA reporter seemed to be hoping, the driver supported the protest.
Seems like you're not going anywhere. You're just eating your sandwich.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this anti-ICE protest happening right in front of you?
I think it's great. If I wasn't working, I'd probably be in it.
Okay. How long have you been waiting in traffic now?
About, I don't know, between 5 and 10 minutes.
I don't think it's going to be ending anytime soon. You could be here in traffic for another 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's all right.
Did you notice how the TPUSA videographer kept focusing on how long the driver would be there? There was no question or curiosity about why the driver supports the anti-ICE protest.
What are you doing to pass the time, sir?
Eating my sandwich right now.
Eating your sandwich.
Sending my daughter's little videos and pics and my work just to let them know where I'm at. Well, they know where I'm at. But
Are you going to be late with any of your deliveries today?
I don't think so. Not too bad.
All right, be safe out here.
You too, thanks.
People just stuck in traffic. Pack a lot of patience today. Look at this. They're not going anywhere. Been sitting idle in traffic for at least 10, 15 minutes. Likely going to be sitting longer.
Because the only thing that matters to TPUSA is that protesters are blocking traffic. And I want to go back to what the conservative videographer said at the end to the driver.
All right, be safe out here.
You too, thanks.
Be safe out here? Because the protesters are so dangerous. Let's see, over the past 3 weeks, the protesters have killed how many federal agents? Oh, that's right, 0. It's the federal agents who have killed 2 protesters and observers. If TPUSA and its young videographers are truly concerned about safety, maybe they should tell the federal agents to be safe out here. Of course, that might anger the ICE agents, which is all that needs to happen for the agents to arrest somebody or shoot them in the face. Anyway, I do give some credit to the TPUSA videographer in Minnesota, Jonathan Cho. He has actually done some interesting work in covering the protests, even if the demonstrators haven't gotten as unruly as Cho has been hoping for. A few nights ago, Cho recorded this video of activists demonstrating at a Minnesota hotel.
All right, here we go again. We're on the University of Minnesota campus outside the Graduate Hotel. It is another Hilton. These activists believe that ICE agents may be staying here. And these activists, made up of mostly University of Minnesota students, have been warned. And it looks like officers are getting ready to march in. So it could happen any minute now. Man, imagine living in these apartments.
Jonathan, imagine being an ICE agent and throwing away constitutional rights. Anyway, perhaps to Jonathan's regret, there was no mass clash between federal agents and protesters. The protesters, after exercising their First Amendment rights, dispersed peacefully. Still, the expectation that the protesters are all a bunch of crazy left-wing violent hippies, well, that seems to infect the narrative of TPUSA videos. That framing, on top of being wrong, is also unfortunate, because the video material that Jonathan and others at TPUSA are collecting has been interesting. Here's a pro tip, kids. Let the pictures and images speak for themselves. One of the misguided souls who keeps speaking for the Trump administration on the ICE raids is Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's former personal attorney. And Blanche keeps getting basic facts wrong about U.S. law. When Blanche appeared recently on ABC News, this week host George Stephanopoulos noted that most of the people being arrested by ICE have no criminal records.
About 70%, at least, of those who have been detained don't have criminal records.
Well, just hang on. The fact that they're here illegally is a crime. And so when you say they don't have criminal records, they are, by their presence being here without status, having come into this country illegally or overstayed illegally, that is a crime.
Actually, it is not. As immigration insider Aaron Reichlin-Melnick wrote on X, that's the Deputy Attorney General getting the law wrong on TV. But don't trust me. Here's the Supreme Court making the point. He included a reference to the case Arizona versus the United States. As a general rule, it is not a crime for a removable alien to remain present in the United States. See INS v. Lopez Mendoza. Other legal experts chimed in as well, noting that when Trump Republicans refer to criminal illegal aliens, the Trumpsters mean everyone who is here on an asylum claim is a criminal. That's absurd. The point is that MAGA folks like to stretch the word criminal to cover a lot of ground, except anything involving the actions of ICE agents. With ICE, shooting innocent people is not criminal, it's just something that happens. Also, when it comes to people who are violent, the Trump administration's own data shows that people from migrant communities commit violent crimes at a lower rate per capita than people born in the United States. These, of course, are inconvenient facts for MAGA world. Another inconvenient fact is that protesters in Minnesota and elsewhere have generally been peaceful and have widespread public support. So when there are traffic jams, the MAGA videographers may be convinced that at least one of the drivers waiting must be really angry. But the MAGA video shows drivers like the Amazon delivery guy love that people are protesting ICE. And as for the video of the driver who hates it, well, that may not exist, because if it did, TPUSA would have posted that video, and they haven't. But hey, keep filming, kiddos. By the way, federal agents in Minnesota recently pointed their guns at an unarmed woman and got blasted by a cable television news host.
Look at them. In America, this is happening. This is still happening in your country.
And that is the reaction of MS Now's Joe Scarborough to one of the latest videos of federal agents in Minnesota.
Look at these thugs. Look, and he comes out with a gun, and he gets in front of the car. They're pointing the gun. They're telling her to come out. They're yelling at her. So what does she do? She's desperately calling the police, desperately asking people to call 911. She's not called. Look at this guy in front of the car.
The gun.
Get trained. Get trained before you draw your gun, you idiot. This is an undisciplined paramilitary force that does not answer to anyone. Obviously, because they're still doing this.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular from Frankie, who wrote, 3 armed men versus an unarmed woman. Bunch of mass cowards, spineless jerkwads. I hear you. I look forward to reading your comments about the MAGA-loving roving reporters for TPUSA getting a lesson in reality from an Amazon delivery driver. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.